Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 10 of Brown Mint Horror's Behind the Horror. We've been gone for a minute, and we've been trying like hell to get this one booked. I'm with the cast and crew tonight of Stained, a 2019 horror flick. We've got Edward Gusts, who is our executive producer, writer, and one of the actors in the film, plays our star. We've got Miss Arielle Hayter, who plays our Detective McDuff, and we've got Ethan McDowell.
Hello.
He plays Steven in the flick. So, guys, if you want to take just a quick sec and give us a bit of a breakdown on who you are and what you're doing, we'll start off with Mr. Edward. Who is Edward Gusts? Tell us a little bit.
I'm an insane filmmaker. We shot this film in 8 days, I think. So currently, because everything's in lockdown and I'm a masochist, I'm deciding right now I'm shooting a film with no budget in 2 months, but from conception to end of edit. And I'm documenting it on YouTube because I think it'll be an interesting train wreck. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
So it's I figure I had too many resources in this film, 8 whole days of filming. Our massive budget, and it's let's just trim it down to me and an HD camera and my car.
There you go. Hey, I'm not trying to talk, put them on a pedestal or anything, but the first Behind the Horror episode we ever did was for an indie flick called Dead Again. I think they shot that thing in 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
So, and they said they're just balls to the wall. I mean, zombie flick, super funny.
We had 23-hour days with eight days of shooting. I have no idea how they did that. That's impressive.
Oh my God. Yeah. Zombie flick, so definitely fun to make. We're finding that a lot in the indie realm. Everybody wearing so many different hats to get something accomplished. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit when we get to the filmmaking portion. Let's go with, we're going to save Ethan at the end because Ethan's character is pretty wild. We're going to go with Detective McDuff. Arielle Hayter, tell us who you are and what you got going on. Who is Arielle?
Wow, so deep. I'm Arielle Hayter. I'm an actor. I am a new mom, so that's something.
Nice, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, she's almost 6 months old, and she's really great. I've been working on. I did a pilot for this writer who I'm obsessed with last year. And it's actually called Whores. So it's about the world of Sugar Baby, which is very different world. So we're working on developing that into a series. So that's the main thing going on with me career-wise. I haven't had to do a Boston accent since I did Stain, thank God. But I did talk to Ed about it recently because he had an audition. He was like, man, a Boston accent is really hard. I was like, yeah, I had to talk on the phone with it for 4 months. And it's still not very far from perfect, but
holy cow. So doing a little research on you, saw where you on Grey's Anatomy for a few episodes. I don't know what era. I'm not a Grey's fan. The wife is.
Sure.
So what era of Grey's were you on? Who was what's his name? The attractive older gentleman who's on there. Who is that?
Oh, Jim Pickens?
Nah.
The old Dr. Avery? Jesse Williams?
No.
Dempsey.
Dempsey who? Who is that?
Patrick Dempsey.
Oh yeah, he's dreamy.
Way long ago. Premium and Dreamies, you mean?
Yeah. So were you in that era or later?
No, much later. I was maybe a year or so ago. I was in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So spoiler alert: Patrick Dempsey's character is not on there anymore. So
what?
Something happened to his character. I don't know. I heard about it at work. It was terrible.
Your wife doesn't talk to you about it?
No, she probably did. Probably tuned it out. So anyways, who we got next here? We've got Ethan McDowell. Ethan,
Right, all right.
plays Stephen Seyton. He is a gentleman who has a little bit of lust for the ladies, the next door kind in this flick. So, who are you, and what you got going on?
I'm Ethan McDowell. I grew up in a little tiny town in Wyoming, which doesn't have much of a film industry out there. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But I, just kind of chased the dream. Went out to LA and met these fine folks here, and that's where I met my wife as well. We were in a play together, and as of late, about 3.5 years ago, we moved out to Atlanta, Georgia. So we're still pursuing the dreams. My wife is an actress as well, so.
Oh, awesome! That's great, man.
Trying to make it happen. So
Any upcoming project you're really excited about?
I think it's all kind of exciting as long as we're pushing forward. I think I have a couple of indie films that are coming out. There's one called Home Safe, which is a thriller, which will be fun. I play an asshole boss in that, which is always lovely.
Oh, you'll be great for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's written on my face. Written on my face.
Right.
And then there's what else? There's No More Goodbyes. It's kind of a heartfelt film, so if you want to wipe some tears from your eyes, then go ahead and jump on that one. But I play a dad in that. So
speaking of heartfelt films, so my wife's mother will tell a quick story here, okay? Just so you can kind of know who I am. And so we've been doing this for I don't know, we're going on a year now, I think. But the other day, I'll tell a quick story about a heartwarming film. My wife's mother decides to tell my wife, who is having a particular bad day, that she should check out this dog movie on Netflix. It'll, she's like, oh, watch this dog movie. And have any of you guys seen the movie Hachi?
No.
With Richard Gere?
No.
Okay. So if you get a chance, check out Hachi with Richard Gere.
Okay.
It's the most not feel good, happy dog flick ever. So it's based off a true story about this gentleman who ends up with this dog, and he ends up passing away. And every day this dog goes and waits at the train station for his master to return.
Oh man.
So sad.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Does it ever turn around? Like, does he find a new home or something?
No, he just keeps showing up every day, waiting for Richard Gere to come off the train.
I feel like by week 3, that dog's biting people off the train.
You know what, though? He ends up becoming like kind of like a staple in the community. Like, he goes around, gets his food from everybody, and just chills there at night. And that ending though, that'll get you.
Okay. All right.
Anyways, check out Hachi, Netflix.
You got it.
Sounds like an effort. I'm gonna do it.
So, what we'd like to do is, like we always do on Brown Mint Horror, we're going to find out who is the smartest in the world of horror amongst you.
Ooh.
Great.
Now we
I'm in trouble.
X-Men 2, please.
right. Well, Ed, you could have portrayed maybe like the stand-in for Logan, Wolverine. You might could have done that.
Thank you. Yeah.
So here's how we kind of want to do it. We'll go a couple of rounds because I know we're on a time crunch with you guys. And the winner will get absolutely nothing except the recognition of being the smartest person in their room.
Okay.
All right, it's on.
Because we're coming via Zoom. Okay. So if you know the answer, it'll be the first one to answer who just throws their hand up.
Okay.
And I'll be watching. Okay.
What if I never throw my hand up?
Oh, come on, Arielle.
If you never throw your hand up, it's okay. You could just not answer. You'll just be a loser. It's fine. Okay. Are we ready?
Comes to mind. Just throw your hand up and say the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay. That will be more fun. It'll be a separate game because
this is
scare me. I can't watch them. So
this is a good one.
Okay.
What actor played Detective Donald Kimball in American Psycho?
Oh,
Arielle.
Demi Moore.
Wrong, Detective McDuff. Did not know. No. Anybody want to show her up?
Oh, no. The detective in American Psycho? I don't remember.
All right, I'll give you a hint. He was also in Boondock Saints.
Oh, not Billy O'Connelly.
No.
No. Sorry, that was the actor from Boone. You did that, and my brain went like, yeah, Billy Connolly.
Okay. I'll give you one more hint, and this should maybe help you out. He played the Green Goblin in the Tobey Maguire adaptation of Spider-Man.
Gotcha.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Because he has that
100.
cool scene in the hallway, isn't he, where he's kind of doing the reenacting with the orchestra music or something.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
That's right. Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
1 point, Ed.
All right.
All right. Let's go with.
3 hints.
I'll give you a
Give me
softball on this
more.
one. I'll give you a softball. Okay.
Great.
What Pirates of the Caribbean actor appeared in A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original? Edward.
Johnny Depp.
Edward, my
Yep.
man.
Yep.
Another 100 points. He's at 200. 300 to
Oh
win.
man.
Oh, nice.
So let's keep the game alive. Let's see. We're gonna go with.
He's going easy on us, guys. He's going easy on us.
Man, I'm trying to. We got this new deck, and I'm like,
No, yeah. Well,
I don't know some of these.
Demi Moore.
Demi Moore. Is it
You know,
Demi Moore?
I was actually trying to think of a Demi Moore question that was correlated, and I'm like, I'm not. I mean, Ghost comes to mind. If you want to call that a horror flick.
I don't think he's done film somehow.
Okay, drawing one at random. Here we go. Nancy Thompson survives in A Nightmare on Elm Street to appear in what sequel in the series?
4. I don't know.
Ethan?
The fourth installment.
No.
Uh,
Edward?
Okay.
the Dream Master one.
No, sir. Arielle?
Nightmare on Birch Street. Hmm?
No.
Next Street. Okay.
Oh, sorry. She was brought back with Wes Craven to actually save the franchise in part 3, Dream Warriors. Remember that awesome Dokken music video?
I don't remember it.
Dream Warriors.
Oh, I didn't know my brain was so holding that, but yes.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, so just to we're gonna wrap things up. This is gonna be the question that if you answer right, you automatically win. How about that?
Okay.
So not that one.
Oh, okay.
All right, off the top of my head, here we go.
Oh.
Look at my collection here.
Going to the library.
It's gonna be a library question.
Snuck up.
Hello.
Ed, I can't see you for some reason.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
So I had a joiner come in here.
Who?
Just woke
Special
up from a
guest.
nap. So,
No problem. We'll keep it PG.
Hi.
What Wes Craven film released in 1996 starred Neve Campbell? Was she Party of Five or 90210?
Scream, right?
Yeah, Ethan McDowell, Scream.
Oh, yeah.
Ethan wins.
Ooh.
Ethan.
Fantastic.
Ethan
yeah.
coming in there out of nowhere.
I knew Ethan would. Arielle's too sleepy from the traffic. Okay. So at this portion, guys, here's what we want to do. Let's do this. Let's talk about Stain for a sec. We already know that Stain took 8 days to film. 8 23-hour-long days. I'm sure it was just sunshine rainbows the entire 23 hours.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Always.
So let's. I always like to ask the directors and producers and actors and stuff like that. I always like to ask. Everybody wants to talk about like the best parts of filming. I want to know what the shittiest thing was that happened. Sorry, air muff it for me. The crappiest thing that ever happened during the filming. Let's start there.
I mean, for me, because
Yeah, let's go for Edward.
Yeah, I feel Ed would have the knowledge of that base. Yeah.
like it's weird because like, I think I'm gonna go in a circle for a minute because like the hardest thing in making a film, I think, is making the second one because all the pitfalls. We just had like I'm really trying to think. I mean, like the long days were just difficult, and we had some location issues, I'll say, just because one of our locations that we used, or one of the companies used for locations, they were used to doing like music videos where you're there for like 2 or 3 hours and you go and leave. And they did not understand what was involved in this. And we kind of, it just made shooting more difficult. There was one day I remember, this was a particular thing, is we had this lovely woman who was making craft services and making us dinner. And she made us chicken wings. And the location manager, who happened to own one of the location, got into his head that she must have stolen the chicken wings out of his freezer. And like the whole time he was like, "Why are you eating my chicken wings?" I'm like, "We're trying to shoot a movie. It's like our second day." And it's like, we brought our own food, but we're in your house, so you're assuming we're eating your chicken wings. And it's like, I think we have the audio somewhere. And it's just like it was like, for me, it was a pretty emotional day. I just done like an emotional breakdown scene. And, again, we've been there for like 10 hours already. And then there's this guy like telling me I stole his chicken wings, and I just given him enough like money to pay his rent or his mortgage for that month. And it's like, really? So for me, that was just like a frustrating day. Yeah. I will not mention that company by name at all, but it was just like one of those like weird, like, I think sometimes people get in the idea of, I'm going to do this for my business. Oh, I got a house, I can rent it out for film shoots, and not know what's involved in a film shoot. So that was interesting. Yeah. I mean, if any filmmaker out there, always have insurance.
I mean, I guess hangry people can infiltrate film sets as well. I've been there.
Yeah. The wings were delicious, though. The wings were, they were buffalo.
Were they, Ethan? I was about to say.
They were wonderful. Yeah.
Ethan looks 100% like he would steal some chicken wings.
It was their chicken wings, Ed. I'm sorry, man. That's my fault.
Thanks so much. All right.
You're welcome. Yeah.
So, Arielle, we were introduced to your character kind of mid-movie. How did you enjoy playing the detective? And I don't want to do this like a crappy kind of question like, what was your motivation? But what was it like working with these two guys playing a detective and, with this story? How fun was that?
So fun. I mean,
she was in the last shot, so to speak.
What did you know? Nice one. All right.
I'm here all day.
I mean, I'd worked with Ed before on this movie. What's it called? The Letter Red?
Axeman 2?
Axeman 2 Overkill.
Yeah, which Ethan ended up being in because of this.
That's right.
All of us were in Axeman 2, yeah.
You were in Axeman 2?
No, I was in the next one after Axeman, so I wasn't officially an Axeman.
That was
I thought we were talking about X-Men, like
no.
Wolverine, Cyclops.
Well, Ed is Wolverine already, so yeah, we're almost already there. And we just gotta pick our other characters.
Yeah. We should all be in an X-Men movie.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I already had worked with Ed. We had like really good rapport, which is great. And I had like some lead up time to like work on the accent, which was great because boy, did I need it. And there was actually a great scene that me and Ed had that like wound up not making it into the movie, but it was like so fun. I was like me, like basically intimidating him. And
I cut it because I didn't want to be intimidated. I said I can't.
I mean, I understand that.
Power of the final cut. Power of the final cut.
Right. Somewhere floating around is the director's cut or an aerial cut rather, of an intimidation scene.
Yes.
I'll send it to you if you want it for your reel. It's great.
They just like rework the movie so it's my story, It's like coming out of the ranks.
Shot from your perspective. Yeah, I got it.
Right. No, but I mean, they're like the great thing about working with Ed and Arielle, like they like are actors, so they understand like what it's like to be an actor on the set, and like they really make sure that like everybody walks away from set feeling like validated and like they did the best they could. And like I never walked away from set being like I had regrets or anything. Like if I ever wanted to do it again, they're like, yeah, let's do it, or like let's try this, let's like it's very like collaborative feeling thing, which is what I think indie films should be like. But like they aren't always like that, you know. Like sometimes you're on an indie film and the director's like, "You got one take," like, and then you have to be like, "Play if you're me." You're like, "Please, can I have another one?" You know, like out the weeping. You know, like you know, it's like not as collaborative as it is working with those guys. So I mean, I had a great time. I would do it again.
Oh, good. Now I'm gonna hit you up then.
And so Ethan's going to spit some truth into the matter. Ethan's going to lay it all out about how things really went down on set. You know, once the lights and stuff were shut off. Ethan, you played the neighbor of the pregnant woman who takes a tumble. So a little bit of a tumble, yeah. So we'll make you be the guy who tells us his favorite part of the flick of filming.
Sure. Well, I mean, to touch back on how you're saying, like, kind of like the horror stories of it, like, I really think that Ed and Arielle kind of hid that very well because they were taking the brunt of it. So I think from like a producer standpoint, I think they did a great job of, you know, putting out fires, and they're both the star of the show, you know, at the same time. So like
Awesome.
They're wearing all kinds of hats. So I tip my hat to you, Edmund. That's a tough gig. But, and like if we were to talk of like, it's all based on scheduling. So I think like to get everybody involved, I mean, just like we're saying for even just this interview, it's kind of tough to get everybody in the same seat and going for it, and then everybody locked and loaded. But we had 8 days to do it. So I think it's a fun challenge for filmmakers and actors. And it's you know, it's stressful, but not in all the right ways. You know what I mean? It's stressful because we're like, all right, let's see what we can make happen. You know, and I think that's just a fun part of making movies.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Let me say this. We watch with Brown Mint Horror, our big thing, obviously. I mean, we love Halloween, we love the franchise flicks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like what we're about is profiling and helping bring awareness to like all the great indie flicks that are out there. And there are several great indie flicks, and there's also a lot of bad ones.
Well, it's appreciated, man. Either way, you know,
I will say this: I am so lucky that every interview that we've done, the flicks have been great, and I think we have Miss Shari over at Midnight Releasing and Samaria Entertainment to thank for that. So big shout out to her. She knows good content when she sees it, and she's got us all connected. So we're definitely in debt to her. I'd like to ask we obviously want to pitch the movie and tell everybody to go watch it, and it's available on several different streaming platforms. Is there a physical copy people can purchase?
Yeah. I mean, I know you can go to like, I think you have to order online, but like it was available at barnesandnoble.com.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, just Google the movie and you'll find a place where you can get a copy of it.
Excellent. Yeah. I watched it on Tubi. Tubi seems to be, if you're one on TikTok and you're scrolling through there for hours on the toilet, a Tubi, someone promoting Tubi will pop up. Yeah. And that's and I got on there today and I'm like, there's just a shit ton of awesome indie horror on there.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it's in the forefront, not masked by big mainstream releases. But as I was saying before we jumped on, Tony Fadil with Dead Again, our first interview, he was telling us about a exclusive indie streaming service that's gonna be coming out. I think it's called Indie Rocket. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
Okay, let me double check that. I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's called Indie Rocket. And basically, it is just for indie flicks, and it's gonna be a complete indie streaming service.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Of course, I'm down here in my basement, so I probably don't have
Sure.
Indie Rocket. Yeah, I will. I'll double check that. Pretty sure it's called Indie Rocket. But there's a streaming service coming live very soon that's going to be promoting and featuring solely indie films, which we're stoked for.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
Because I mean, here's the thing, and this is what I tell everybody. This is what I tell people at work. This is what I tell friends, family, whatever. They're like, "You're talking to people about indie films?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, if you remember correctly, Halloween was an indie flick. They made it dirt cheap back in the day. Luckily, they had Donald Pleasance for a little, you know, a little name dropping action. But other than that, I mean, they had, micro budget. It's a micro budget flick.
The Shatner mask.
Exactly.
Some young girl.
They did the best that they had. Now, God, I mean, could you imagine growing up now and like with the technology that is out there and being like, yeah, I want to be a movie maker. I want to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
I mean, you could take this and do so much.
Totally.
Grenade. No, I don't know.
I mean, that's obviously not a, you know, that's obviously not a reason not to want to go to film school or you know, take acting lessons or anything like that. You can't just film something and be great, but
the accessibility is there, though.
Yeah, man.
And now the issue is like, you know,
and you're able to build some passion.
As opposed to it costs so much, you know, to make a film because everything's digital.
Yeah. So
I babysit a 10-year-old and we're making a film together. I babysit her every Saturday night. So we're like, now she's like in the editing process. I mean, it makes
cool. Yeah, post-production. All right.
That's awesome. So we're going to get into, I say all that because we want to get into a section. I call it the Tony Robbins soapbox type section. And then want to end with a little bit of something fun. I'm going to make a note here. Movie. Okay. So here's your Tony Robbins section of Brown Mint Horror Behind the Horror. We're going to just do a quick roundtable of if you could talk to an up-and-coming an actor or someone who wants to be a filmmaker or someone who wants to write flicks and stuff like that. You know, it's 2021. Last year was all COVID. So what advice would you give to someone, you know, if you could, you know, kind of mentor them? What would be a piece of advice you'd give them? And we'll start with Arielle if we can.
Sure. So I think, first of all, I think it's something that was said to me that I don't think I understood until like I did. So I feel like I'm going to say it and somebody's going to hear it and be like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But what was said to me was like, you need to embrace the parts of you that make you something different, even if those parts you don't like. Like for me, it was like, I mean, in this film, I like had long hair. I like was sort of like protective of like my femininity because I knew that I was like also very masculine and I was like trying to combat that so hard. And like the reason things took off for me is because I was like, I'm just gonna like embrace the fact that I'm like also masculine. You know what I mean? And like then it was like, and it's also the world, but it is like just accepting the part of you that's unique, like makes it different versus you trying to be like, here's a box. Like, I'm going to just try to like shove myself into it because there are people that actually are that are going to like book those roles. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would
So
say.
just be authentic.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ethan, talk to me. I'm 10 years old. I want to be a filmmaker. Mentor me. What would you tell me?
Just go talk to Arielle. She's already shooting a film with a 10-year-old. She'll set you right up. You go.
Great.
No, I think that all of the fields in this industry are somewhat related, I think. So, and it's kind of like the age-old tale of, you know, if you want to do something, legitimately do it. And
yes.
It's similar to what Arielle's saying. Like when I would hear that, like if you're an actor, go act. If you're a director, go direct. If you're a writer, write. You know, that kind of thing. And I think, like, well, yeah, of course. But it is the idea of just getting out there and doing it. And then you just got to trust in yourself. Don't judge yourself based on the choices that you make. So, you know, if you're shooting a movie, all you have is your cell phone. That's all you need. Get some buddies together and go out and just start making movies and figure it out and fall on your face and get back up and keep doing it. And I think with writing, it's
but I get
what's
up
that?
Again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, yeah. But and even with acting, like I think if you want to get into acting, I think just try to find something that early on, I'd say don't focus so much on like, I want to be in movies. You can, but get out there and just do stuff. Get in a play or just get some buddies and make your own little skits or sketches. I mean, that's what like TikTok and the shorts on Instagram and everything. It's just people are just being creative. And I think that's a big part of it because then you start learning what aspects you really latch onto. So you start making little movies, little short films. You'll be like, you know what? I actually kind of like being behind the camera more than I like being in front of the camera. So you just familiarize yourself with every aspect and then just run with it. Get a group of buddies and make a movie in 8 days, like Stained.
I think one of the key takeaways too is no matter what field that you're in, that you end up in, or that you want to do, it's a grind. I recently just switched careers, and we're here based in Nashville, Tennessee. We would love for Brown Mint Horror obviously to take off into the hemisphere and stuff like that. And the next interview we're sitting down with John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis or whoever.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, but not likely. But we're on our way. It's a grind. But that's what I wake up to every day is, I wake, if things aren't going my way or whatever, you have to wake up, you have to be pissed off, you have to keep going, you have to be mad, you have to suck down some coffee and literally just show up. My big, I used to tell my guys that I worked with, that would complain. I used to just say, just show up. Showing up and being willing to put in the work does wonders. And I feel like really gets you noticed. And I would rather work with someone who has a great work ethic than someone who comes in thinking they're the best actor, best director or whatever, and they're not. But moving along off of that was my little Tony Robbins segment.
Sure.
Edward, close us out there on the Tony Robbins segment and tell us how you mentor. What would you say?
Again, I don't know how it would be well received by a 10-year-old, but
it doesn't have to be a 10-year-old. It could be anybody.
Okay, well, but the thing is, there needs to be a balance, and that is the thing, because it's so nice to tell somebody just do what you love and the money will follow, and that's not true.
No.
Here's the thing: if you don't love it, there's no way in hell you're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
But it needs to be a little bit of a balance. You need to, besides knowing like, okay, this is camera stuff. There's a lot, as an actor. Well, my agent should be getting me these jobs. Well, okay, so it's your agent's fault. You're still not getting the jobs. And there needs to be a balance. I don't think you should be constantly annoying people on social media or whatever, but you need to know a little bit about marketing. And there also needs to be a thing about perfectionism, because I know a lot of actors, because it's the dumbest job. You're like, I really want love from strangers. And then you put yourself out on the internet and it's just.
You just get torn apart.
Dude, you suck. Did you see that guy in that flick? It was horrible.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like a lot of it's like, the effects weren't nearly as good as Marvel. And you're like, what the, but the thing is like, there's a real temptation, particularly if you're making something like right now, I'm sure with COVID, a lot of us been like just tinkering, shooting stuff at home. And it's like, oh, I shot it. Oh, but I'm not sure if the sound, it's just like everyone is sitting on these artworks and then they just kind of put them away because they're like, well, it wasn't good enough. And it's like, it's never going to be good enough. As long as it's better than the one before.
Take the leap.
Yeah. Because otherwise it's like you're hoping for some. I mean, I'm not saying that magical things don't happen, but it's so much more likely if you're actually like focused on your goal and going after it. And not worrying about stupid details about like, it's only high def and I really think it should be 4K, and people will like kill a movie because, well, Netflix won't take anything under 4K. It's like, who cares? Just, make your thing, do the best you can, and then do the next thing.
I mean, that you hit the nail right on the head with that, man. And that's, and that's why I'm so glad that Indie Rocket, I'm pretty sure that's what it is coming out because how many great flicks that are made don't get the kind of notoriety that they should get. And I mean, are we going to hear about Stained 10 years from now about being like dude, you need to watch this cool indie flick about this adaptation of a William Shakespeare thing. It's pretty cool. And you like show it to them, they're like, damn, man, that's fucked up. Like there's a couple scenes in there that were pretty gnarly. And that, because I mean, if we think, let's all just get back in our time machine real quick. I think we're all of age. Let's get back in our time machine and go back to the video store where all we had to go by based off of if the movie was good or not was the VHS cover art.
Yep.
You had nothing, and the synopsis on the back, that's all you had. And if you rented that Joker, you were going to watch it because you paid to watch that thing. Yeah. So whether it was great or not, you're going to suffer through it. Mm-hmm. But it was still being talked about. I can remember. You guys remember Sleepaway Camp?
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I didn't see that one.
Okay, Felissa Rose. If she ever watches this, we definitely want to interview her. We're trying to make a connection there. But Sleepaway Camp was always artwork that I remember that always caught my eye, and I was like, man, that the movie is what it is. I mean, it has a very, very shocking ending at the end. Have you guys ever seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
No.
Oh my!
Interview over.
Yeah.
You guys never seen Sleepaway Camp?
I didn't get into horror until about 2008 when I started doing creature work, and the makeup artist would just start playing all these horror movies. I'm like, what have I been missing?
Okay, yeah.
So,
that is the sequels are kind of terrible, but the original Sleepaway Camp is, you're going to sit down and watch Sleepaway Camp, and then you're going to have to watch it again, and then there's this video on YouTube breaking down the flick, and you're going to want to watch that. That's how deep you can go into Sleepaway Camp.
My brother's really into it, but I've always been afraid, so I know it.
Gotcha. Well, you're not going to be afraid of this. This is classic 80s cheese. You'll love it. Sit down with some popcorn and a Coke, and you'll love it.
Well, and talking about cover art, one that always got me when I was younger was Chud. You guys remember the humanoid? What is it? Creature or city humanoid?
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
Cannibalistic. Yeah.
Yes.
Just like this weird looking creature coming out of the sewer. I'm just like, ooh, no, I got no business watching that. Then you watch them, that's not really scary.
Speaking of cover art VHS, I want to show you guys something just so we can have that for the interview here. And then I got one more segment that I want to do, and I'll let you guys go. Give me one sec.
Sure. No, but I would always go through and just look at the different cover arts. I would just go and look like, ooh, this maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but then I also like the same four things,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really just want to watch Adventures
Overlap.
in Babysitting again. You're like, what?
Yeah.
This is thanks for humoring me too, guys. This is one of my favorite cover arts, and I wish I owned more VHS, but I don't. If you walked by an aisle and saw this cover, you would have thought this was going to be some great, kind of like medieval epic with great effects.
Kroll.
Close. Army of Darkness.
There you go.
Bruce Campbell looks nothing like that in the flick. Okay.
Yeah.
You see that six pack? There's a glare.
Don't tell him that.
Right. I mean, the broad, and then you've got like all the creatures and stuff like that. But if you walked by and you're 8 years old, you're like, oh yeah, I want to rent Army of Darkness. Look at that chainsaw hand. He's gonna fuck people up.
Yeah.
And that's, somebody made that and was like, hey, we got to sell the hell out of this flick. We got to get it on rentals. What can we do? And then you have that. So bring back VHS cover art,
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a point in doing all that, but I'm about 2 Trulies in, so I don't really remember.
Hey, it happens.
300-pound 6'4" guy drinks Trulies. It's cool. So what we're going to do is move on to that last segment. Sure. And once again, appreciate you guys being on here. What I'd like for you to do is everybody think of their favorite flick. I'll give you Nope. Doesn't have to be a horror film.
Okay.
Let me know when you got it.
Got it.
Got it.
All right. Sure.
Ethan, you got yours? Okay, here's what I want you to do. If you could be one of the characters in that film and change it, make like a different situation happen, what would it be? And I'll tell you mine at the end. I'll go last.
Okay.
Oh man.
Well, I feel like my favorite movie changes about every other day. So I'm like, oh yeah, maybe. But what came to mind is Goodfellas.
Okay. Well, my favorite movie that I'm going to say for this video will not be for the next one because I got to get views. I got to keep it mixed up. So Ethan, what character would you be, and how would you change the flick?
I'd try to be Pesci, but I don't think anybody can be Pesci in Goodfellas. But
Make
I
where
think
Pesci doesn't die.
yeah. Long live. He becomes the kingpin. I don't know. Who knows? But
Now,
I always like that scene in Goodfellas where they're at Pesci's mom's house. It's like, come on, mom. When it's actually Martin Scorsese's actual mother.
yes.
When they're all around the table and they decide to steal the knife because they got the guy in the trunk. I've always just loved that scene. I just think it's so funny because those guys are the worst people in the world with the sweetest mom. It's good.
So I'm gonna just kind of do a couple of I'm just gonna say a couple of things about each person's movie. So here's how I would change Pesci in Goodfellas. So Pesci's character, I don't know if the timeline lines up, but Pesci's character ends up later becoming a witness of the state, being protected by Mel Gibson and Danny Glover.
Yeah.
And ends up being in a very successful film franchise as Leo Getz. That's how I would change it.
I like it. I think that's factual.
Right. That's totally doable. Arielle, what about you?
I think one of them is The Truman Show. And
okay.
I would be Jim Carrey's character, but I think I always thought it would be so cool if at the end he like chooses the next him, like in the bubble, like he gets to like
nice. Yeah.
And, so like
wow.
he like becomes the mastermind behind it.
I like it.
That's pretty good. That's pretty awesome. I don't even have anything to say about that. That's good.
Make a sequel,
Truman Show too. Truman too.
Yeah.
Edward, what about you, man?
Princess Bride.
Yeah.
And
okay, I'm the last guy on the planet who hasn't seen that.
Okay.
It is, in my estimation, a perfect movie. Even like watching it and you're like, oh, I can see that is a scrim and that's not it's still just so good. It has like the Carpenter thing where the structure is so great.
I've only heard great things about Princess Bride.
Yeah, I have this weird thing, which is horrible as a producer, where I love these indie films that no one has heard of. Like, I mean, that movie bombed at the box office. And then, 15, 20 years later, everyone discovered it.
Right.
And the only thing I could change about it, I'm sorry, I'm going to spoiler alert for you because you haven't seen it. There's a bit where they talk about Inigo becoming the new Dread Pirate Roberts. And I would just love, even though the idea of sequeling that movie terrifies me, like following him as, he was seeking revenge and now he's a pirate and just seeing what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's Mandy Patinkin's like best role. So I would just love to see that. So like just an extension version of that, really.
Well, because I haven't seen it, I have no 2 cents to put in on that or any kind of, quick-witted thing that I would do. I'm going to go with
Please say Stained. Please say Stained.
If I was any kind of damn host, I would say that, wouldn't I? I'm gonna go, man. Alien Expedition. Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
You know what? Damn it. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that Nicolas Cage's character in Face Off lives and gets to live out there his remaining days in Sean Archer, John Travolta's body.
Whoa.
All right. I like
That's
that.
what I would have changed because there's no way in hell that Castor Troy, and you guys have seen it, right?
Ready for the big ride,
That baby. Yeah, exactly. You better pull the trigger. God, that's a great. Do you hear about how they're rebooting that? They're doing like a sequel.
Really?
No.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do that. I mean, they're wrinkly and stuff. I mean, are you going to do another Face Off?
They'll literally have to give them take the faces off.
Dude,
and put them on.
I'm gonna do a whole video about Face Off, man. I love that movie. I want to take his face. It's so good. But yeah, I would have had
so many roles.
I would have had Nicolas Cage's character, superb. I would have had his remaining days as Sean Archer.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think they could have rode with that for like a couple different things. But yeah. I'm sure there'll be people in the comments be like, "Bro, that was a horrible recommendation," but that's fine.
You read the comments? Wow, you got balls, man.
I mean, in between, sitting on the toilet in between TikTok, I got to switch over to YouTube Studio, just kind of scroll through there. Yeah.
See what's going on. Sure.
Yeah. Keep up with it. Well, guys, I really appreciate this. You made a little kid who loves horror flicks in Nashville, Tennessee, super happy. That's me, by the way. Thank you so much. We would love, we're going to promote the crap out of this.
Thanks, man.
We really, so from Brown Mint Horror, from us, we really appreciate what you're doing in the independent horror film or the independent realm, regardless. You guys went in 100%, try to make the best film that you could. And we will definitely make sure everybody and their mama, that's a Nashville term, knows that. So on behalf of Brown Mint Horror, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for making Stained and being a part of it. And thank you so much to Samara Entertainment with Shari and Midnight Releasing. Thank you so much for getting us hooked up with these great individuals who I'm sure are going to keep putting out tremendous content. And we look forward to the next installment. This has been JC at Brown Mint Horror. Thank you so much, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys in something else and having you all back.
All right,
I'm going to plug all your guys' socials and stuff like that. We're going to blow this up. Everybody's going to know about Stain, I promise.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great night, and we look forward to it again.
Yeah.
Thank you.